What's up, Internet? What are you doing today? I pushed the button there. I pushed the button late. Sorry. I was pushing the button. It was non-reactive, guys. Oh, I gotta update the chat here. Oh, update the chat. It's Labor Day. Does anybody else realize that? It's Labor Day? I gotta refresh the chat. Refresh? It's, look at it go. Look at it. Oh, there we go. Chat's just not active today. People are not active on Labor Day, you know? It's a laborious day that people just decide to be inactive, you know? A lot of people just hanging around, chilling, not doing a whole lot, I guess. Where's the chatters? Chatters should be rejoicing today. I'm going to run over to the Discord chat and make sure that people know that calling in is welcome today. If you want to call in, it's all good, baby. Fish Tank Barn says Happy Labor Day to all in the U.S. That's right. I don't know if Labor Day exists anywhere other. I don't know if it exists outside the U.S. Does it? I'd probably have to look that up. Let me look that up. Labor Day in other countries other than the USA. Let's see. Labor Day. For most countries, Labor Day is synonymous or linked with International Workers' Day, which occurs on the 1st of May. Well, ours is the 5th of September this year. Ours is the first Monday in September in the old United States. And so the date changes. New Zealand, Labor Day is a public holiday held on the 4th Monday in October. Oh, that's so close to Halloween, man. We can't be doing that. We got to be getting we got to be getting spooky around that time of year in October. But I guess considering New Zealand, you guys are like, it's probably springtime in October, right? That's like your springtime, so you know. Kazakhstan celebrated the last Sunday in September. Japan, Labor Day is officially conflated with Thanksgiving. Wow. Japan, what a failure. They've combined Thanksgiving and Labor Day. That's a fail. Japan fail. Jamaica, Canada, Bangladesh, Australia. Oh man, I should check out when Australia's is. Australia is a public holiday date in which varies between states and territories. The first Monday in October in Australian Capital Territory. Oh, go figure that Australia would make it all crazy, right? Yeah, they would. Go figure the Australians. It's a floating holiday depending on what territory you're in. So the majority of the world has no Labor Day. Oh, no. Majority of the world has Labor Day on 1st of May. Okay. No public holiday is only a few countries. Okay. All right. There we go. So most countries' Labor Day is the 1st of May. Yeah, so the different dates are Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, United States, Jamaica, Bangladesh, and one other country. Bahamas. The Bahamas and Jamaica. And Kazakhstan. Trinidad, Tobago. Labor Day is celebrated every 19th of June. I like the 19th of June. That sounds good. Trinidad, Tobago, once again, doing it right. That's all good, baby. But ours is September 5th, dating back to a holiday for the labor unions in these United States, which always sort of, it always kind of staggers me that most Americans don't really know that much about labor union history in the United States, and how important it is for our the lifestyle that we lead now, and them being disbanded has led to the lifestyle we lead now. It's a combination, man. We have a lot of good things from the unions, and then the unions went bye-bye, and we're slowly regressing back. We're regressing back over the last 50 years for sure. And if anybody ever has to question me on that, I go, "Where's your pension?" And they go, "What's a pension?" And that sort of solidifies it. Sorry for coughing. I just I don't quite have the voice for a 2-hour stream without some intermittent throat clearing. So my bad. Might as well give you guys a COVID update. Mikey Fishy just tested positive. Great. That's just so great to hear, man. I'm sorry. What a bummer. But yes, as you guys know, last week I had COVID. I was in full sickness. I'm better now. And I have been released from my COVID protocol as of this morning. So I don't have to wear a mask constantly everywhere I go. So COVID protocol here is over, unless I have some kind of flare-up of sickness again. I should be completely on the mend. So about a 10-day action there. About a 10-day of misery, and back on the right track. I am looking forward to sleeping in my normal bed tonight instead of being isolated by myself in the guest room. Don't want to be up in that guest room anymore. Dylan23 says, "Hi." What's up, Dylan? Dylan's not a member, so somebody better gift some memberships so Dylan can become a member. Big shout out to Aubrey, who's our biggest membership gifter of all time. Aubrey, wherever you're at. Boy Scout salute, 2 fingers. Boy Scout. Boy Scout or Cub Scout? Cub Scout salute, 2 fingers. Boy Scouts, 3 fingers. Military's all hands on your salute, right? So we're going to go Cub Scout salute to your boy, Aubrey. Thanks for, he's the grand champion of gifted memberships. So, we got that going. Wesley's Fish Club says it's so late. Well, he's a dad now, so, if there's any time of day that I could accommodate your schedule, let me know. You're a dad now, so my assumption is that you're just tired all the time. So does it really matter when I go live? Does it matter? I don't know. You let me know. We got some answers to the poll. If you guys are taking the poll in the chat, you guys will notice that the water heater blew up this weekend. That was a big hot moment. That was a big hot moment of this weekend. Was Friday. Friday was the first day back to work. I was able to go to work because I was outside. I spent the whole day pressure washing shipping containers. I don't know if that's exciting to you guys. I didn't film it because it does not seem like something that's even remotely exciting to you guys. I may film the painting. I'm going to be painting a whole bunch of shipping containers. I might film that part because that might be interesting to people, right? Like shipping containers changing color in fast motion. right? Then I could make a TikTok about it and then be TikTok famous, and the next thing you know, your boy over here will be doing ads for like cheese and waffles and stuff. You know what I mean? And like virtual VPNs and stuff. I'll be like, check out this VPN, guys. It's so good. It's blow your mind. Yeah. But I did that on Friday. Was admittedly wiped out. The COVID, I felt healed from the COVID, but I was not 100%. But it made up for a very long day. I was sweating so profusely. I don't even know what to tell you guys. I was just my pants were. I came home and just threw my stuff in the laundry. I was soaked with sweat, dude. It was wild. And took a shower, threw everything in the laundry, then went back to isolating because I had to isolate because protocol. And but I did that. Was like, wow, I'm going to sleep. Went to bed. Woke up at 5:30 in the morning because Vicky came busting in to tell me that the water heater had exploded, which it had. It had done that. And so, what are the benefits of the hot water tank exploding? We have multiple benefits here. Other than the financial strain of having to buy one, which was a nightmare, and I'll tell you about that. But the first benefit, I got to explore some of the drainage in our garage here. And it turns out the slab in our garage is perfectly sloped for the hot water tank to have exploded. Everything drained directly to the front where the doors are and didn't go all over the place and ruin a bunch of stuff. Just went straight down and out the front door. I opened the garage doors. I swept all the water out. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Plugged in the hose to the water heater. Drained it. Got the water turned off. Drained it. Cut it loose. It's outside now. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Now, here's the first benefit, other than just the drainage thing, which most people would think is pretty stupid. I got to cut into our water, change out a bunch of valves, get things staged for the fish room, the future fish room. So I'm going to have to run water out there. Luckily, I got the wall cut open. I got a bunch of valves put into place. And that is going to make that a lot easier when it comes time to get water over to the fish room. So that is good. That is good, right? So that's good, and we like that. Secondly, the second benefit was it turns out right now through the Puget Sound Energy, you get a bunch of money off if you buy a hybrid water heater. It was like an automatic $500 off. So we got the water heater with $500 off. Total cost after all the parts and everything was $900. So that works out to be like not too bad. Not too bad. We got a brand new hybrid water heater. And I noticed that Joel G from New Zealand was like, what is a hybrid hot water heater? So it's electric. It runs off of a heat pump. The heat pump unit is up on the top. So it's much more efficient than a traditional electric one. We do have gas now. We ran gas through the building so that we would have gas, so that we could run an on-demand gas one. But here's the problem. None were available this weekend. I couldn't get any of them. I think the closest window of delivery time for the hot water heater that we wanted was September 15th. And boy, howdy. There's a lot of things I could deal with, but no hot water for 2 weeks. I don't, could I deal with it? Sure. Do I want to? No. So it would literally, like, if I had ordered that one, it's like stand around, twiddle my thumbs for 2 weeks while I wait for the one to get delivered. And that just seems ridiculous. So I said, hey, you know what? We're just going to have to go with a hybrid one. That's our best bet right now. Luckily, I was able to just go get one off the shelf, get it installed. Couple little hiccups here and there with the install, but not a big deal because, like I said, I'm going to be making the changes down the line for the fish room. So a couple things need to be fixed, a couple things need to be remedied. Not a huge ordeal, though, because, like I said, I'm going to be interacting with that fairly soon again, and I'll be able to make those changes at that time. So one of the weird things that I'd forgotten about a hybrid water heater is that you got to have condensation. You got to have a plan for the condensation. Totally forgot about that. So I'm going to have to make a wacky pipe that will drain to the outside. But that's going to be one of those things that's just sort of fun for a hour or something goofing off. Mike Kirkpatrick MK Cichlid says, so does the hybrid water heater stop working completely when the power is out? Well, if the power is off, yes, electrical equipment doesn't work when the power is off. So, yes, there would be no power, so it would be turned off. Yeah. You know, I have a generator, so I could always hook up the generator to it if I really wanted to do that. We rarely have like gigantic power outages where we live here. So, you know, worst case scenario, if we had the power was out for a day or two or something like that, I would just run the generator to our RV. We have an RV. I would hook the water up to it and just do that instead. That actually would be probably less goofing around. Does that make sense? All of our RV stuff is already like set up and all that. So we'd probably just use the RV for a couple days if the power was really out here for a long period of time. So that would be my thing. And the hot water heater on the RV runs off of propane. And we have, I think we have like 6 propane tanks or something like that. So there would really be no big concern of running out of propane or whatnot. So we probably would just do that. So a hybrid water heater means that it has that it runs off of a heat pump, but it also has electric heater elements in it if it needs to do like an extreme recovery. And so instead of just calling it a heat pump, they call it a hybrid. It's probably just a lot of it has to do with marketing. Yeah. Got me 4 new killie species this weekend from our killie show auction. I'm not going to try to butcher Latin. Have I done any killie tanks? Yes, I have done. I've done clown killies. I've done what are all the types of killies I've owned? Man, I feel like an idiot. All right, so let me think here. I've done clown killies. I've done what are the rainbow killifish? What are those guys called? Yeah, Nothbranchius racovii. Yeah, I've done those guys. I did blue lyre-tails a while back. Let's see. Let's look through killifish that I've done. Oh, I did the Australes. I forgot about those ones. I've done the clown killies, the banded panchax, those guys. The fundulo panchax, those guys. I've done those. I've done a few killies, and I think I don't know if there's any killifish that's like on my list, but I bet you if somebody had something interesting, I probably would get them and set up a tank for them. Definitely an enjoyable fish. I love the fact that you can, collect and harvest eggs. They're just overall enjoyable. So I just highly recommend. And that's wild that you got 4 different species in one weekend. I don't know if I have the mustard these days to set up like 4 tanks from having gone to an auction. Typically, if I go to an auction, I'll focus on like one specific species that I really, really want from there. Pretty rare that I see something that I'm like, oh my god, I got a bid. I know I know it always sounds like super arrogant, but like I normally don't I normally don't bid on things at auctions because I feel like I don't feel like that the auctions are for a creator guy like me that could potentially just outbid somebody who's sort of just a hobbyist and was trying to get, you know. So does that make sense? So, but I tell you, if there is a plant I really want at a auction, I probably will muscle up on that. But it's really rare now that I find a plant that's like, oh my god, I got to get that today, right now, from this auction. This is the only place I can get it. So yeah, I try not to like outbid people super hard at auctions. But oftentimes at auctions, if I go there and people have who bred the thing, I can always kind of contact them and be like, hey, can I buy / have you ship me some or something like that. Freshwater Ichthyology says, I voted, but I have no idea what hybrid means. It sounds, well, hold on. Let me run through this. So a hybrid water heater. So the hybrid water heater is the reason that, okay, let me run through this. Okay. Let me explain. Let me get a picture here so I can show you guys what, click on this. Come on. Of course, it's loading slow. This is insanity. I didn't click. I guess I clicked on insanity. I just wanted that regular picture so I could show you guys. Yeah. A hybrid water heater works like a refrigerator, but in reverse. While a refrigerator removes heat from an enclosed box and releases it into the surrounding air, a hybrid heat pump water heater captures heat from the surrounding air, then transfers it to water in an enclosed tank. So, yeah. I wanted to click on this picture right here because this is a great illustration, but it takes me to a website that is completely insane. So let me see if I can't find, oh, there we go. Here we go. Let's save this image. Save it to this folder. Yep, let's save it there. Then we can pop over to here, and I can burp. Oh, come on. Image file. There it is. There it is. Right there. Okay. So, oh my God, guys. The redemption. This is the redemption of the arrow. Oh my God, the arrow. The arrow, guys. The arrow's back. Okay. So, the water heater looks like this, and it has this unit up on the top. So it has an evaporator, evaporator coils on it that run from a compressor, and then that spits out cold air. Takes in the air, runs to the compressor through the evaporator coils, and spits out cold air. The evaporator coils go down into the tank like this, and then hot water comes out of the tank like that. And then there are also electric heating elements in the tank so that it can run and supplement the heat that it is getting. So it works as a heat pump, and it works like that. And now you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's pretty, it's a basic system, like once you kind of understand what's going on. But it's also, it's not that crazy, but it costs about a third the amount of electricity to a traditional electric water heater. So, so far, I've been tracking it. It has Wi-Fi and an app and everything, and I've been tracking it to see how it does. And so far, it's doing really well. And you can also control it that if you're on vacation, that instead of heating the water to 120 degrees, it'll just heat the water to like 60 degrees, blah, blah, blah. It just has a bunch of features and saves a lot of money off your electric cost. So, in the future, I'm going to take this hot water heater and I'm going to use this to run the fish room eventually. This will be the fish room's hot water heater, and I'm going to order a gas one for the future, so that I can coordinate the install of that. Sky Dancer says, what if it's in a room that stays cold? So it operates down to 22 degrees Fahrenheit, which is no idea Celsius, but that's way below freezing, and it's really not that much of an issue. But it does put AC into the garage. You can always vent that air out if you want, though. Joel, when are you going to do more sump or plant videos? Watch most old videos, hoping to get more updates. Those videos are coming actually fairly soon. It's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. I had a discussion with the gentleman who is going to be building the stands for the new small fish room. 2 of the stands are going to be built out of steel, mainly because I'll do it in the video as to like why I wanted to do that. But mainly it's for not necessarily aesthetic, but it's just for moving and longevity of those stands. The rest of the stands I'm going to be building will be out of cabinet plywood and stuff, and I'm going to do detailed videos on those, so you guys can check that out. But I have a stand builder who is building some steel frames for the new fish room, which that works out because I don't have a ton of time right now to do fabricating. I got somebody who's working on it. He's a local guy. We'll be doing kind of a ad video for him, so you guys will be able to like contact him and whatever if you want him to work on projects. And he also makes other fish related projects, and so we'll make a video about that too, all at the kind of the same time. If you guys are interested in getting stuff from him. But that's going to get done, and I have to build out the whole space. So this weekend was a big deal to get the space started built, because Vicky did a giant garage sale this weekend to get all of the extra stuff that we didn't need out of here and then donated. So we did a garage sale Saturday while I was replacing the hot water heater. Vicky was doing a garage sale. Went very, very well. We sold a ton of stuff on Saturday. It was super busy. I guess Saturday was the big garage sale day here, so there was just garage sales as far as your eyes could see. So there was a ton of people garage sailing around, and they showed up, and they bought stuff, and they took it away, and it's no longer here. So we cleared out quite a bit of space in the garage so that we can scoot everything over, do the construction, then put everything away, and then there'll be a parking spot for Vicky inside a garage, which is something that she wants very badly. She wants to very badly be able to pull her car inside a garage, park it, get out, come straight into the house. That's what she wants to do. And as they say in the business, whatever Vicky wants, she's going to get, right? So, yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button, and also gifted subs works now. So don't forget to gift subscriptions for those non-members out there that just can't afford it. They'll get randomly selected and become a member. So more efficient than standard electric. Are they also more efficient than gas as far as energy bills go, or similar over time? So here's one of the things. That is 100% going to depend on your area, where you live. It's going to be different. Now, for where I live, gas, because our gas here is actually produced by waste. So I was going to look this up ahead of time. PSE waste. Yeah, here we go. So the renewable natural gas. So Puget Sound Energy, most of our natural gas that comes through the pipe is actually a renewable natural gas, which is like super interesting. So yeah, So our natural gas here is 100% carbon neutral because of the carbon capture that they're doing already through recycling processes and all this stuff. Obviously, I could go through it, and it just turns into like an ad for Puget Sound Energy or whatever. But it's actually pretty basic how they do it. There's a lot of garbage. They break it down, and they create natural gas from the breakdown of it. That would be the easy way to explain it. And there's really no shortage of garbage because there's, 12 million people living in Washington creating garbage like every week. So it's just sort of an endless supply of making that natural gas. So that being said, it's like, well, I know some people are like, well, is it green energy to burn gas because the gas is going to burn, blah, blah, but it ends up being carbon neutral the way that they do it here. So it's really going to depend on your individual market on like what is going to be the cost, right? So you need to go and you need to calculate your kilowatt hours and how much you're being charged per kilowatt hour. And then you're going to have to go figure out, how's the natural gas calculated? Is it BTUs or therms? Natural gas calculator. So there's like, if you look up a natural gas appliance calculator, here you go. It's like the first thing that comes up. So you want to go look at your bill, and then through this natural gas calculator. So like here's a good example. So like the clothes dryer. Let's say uses per day. Let's say we use it twice a day. The BTUs off of 2 loads a day. So, and then the BTUs per hour are 20,000 on the clothes dryer. I don't think so. I think the clothes dryer is 30,000. So let's say you use your clothes dryer twice a day. Which is a lot. That would be crazy. It would be wild. At 30,000 BTUs an hour, the monthly charge is going to be about $19, which is $229 a year, and then you can figure out from there. But let's say that but you also need to plug in exactly how much it's going to cost per therm. So it's like, so I have to go PSE cost per therm. Natural gas? That should be right. Puget Sound Energy rates. Here we go. So let's go and we'll go find how much the therms are. How much a therm is charged. Here we go. I think it's this. Is it this one? Nope, it's not this one. I'm on the wrong thing. Obviously, sometimes this stuff takes a minute, and, when you're live streaming, people are like, just say the thing. Rate schedule summaries. Here we go. I clicked on the wrong thing. And now it's loading. There we go. Load this. Save PDF. Gosh, why do they make us have to read PDFs? It's so goofy. Okay, so our basic charge right here is 68 therms at 0.48793 per therm. Copy. Okay. Residential charge right now is... Yeah, $464 gas cost, delivery charge. Yeah, so 46438 is my charge for a therm. So we go like this. We put in our decimal. We go paste. Oops, now we have 2 decimals. That doesn't make any sense. Update. So we'll update the calculator at 0.48793 cents per therm. which gives us an $8.91 a month bill if I run the clothes dryer 2 loads a day. Okay? Now, I already did the calculation on how much it costs. So let's go like this. Let's turn it into 1 load a day. On the clothes dryer is $4.46. And that's assuming that it's 30 days out of the year. So we go 446 divided by 30. Copy. Boom. Control V, paste. And then we divide that by 30. So our per unit cost to run the clothes dryer, if it is indeed 30,000 BTUs, which I think is low. I think the BTUs are higher than that. Is going to be 16 cents a load, plus the service with the service charge. It's going to be 16 cents a load. So currently, right now, if we run the electric dryer, I know already that it costs about 80. What is it? No, it's not 80 cents. It's 53 cents. So it's 53 cents a load if we run it on the clothes dryer that we have now. If we switch to a gas dryer, obviously every time you run the gas dryer, you're going to be saving like 30 cents, right? Which seems like nothing. But over time, eventually you save quite a bit. Plus the gas dryers are so much faster. It's just unbelievable. And your clothes come out dry and they smell better because it's much lower humidity. We switched to the gas dryer down at the house in Tacoma, and there was a noticeable difference. We saw just quite a bit of savings. Oh my God, Kothos was gifted a membership by the Fish Tank Barn. We have a gifted membership. Oh my God, that means we got to update our membership number over here. It says 79. We got to change both numbers. I think the only way we're ever going to get to the moist tattoo is by people gifting memberships. I think that's the only thing. I think that's the only way we're ever going to get there, right? If people gift memberships, because then I got to get a moist tattoo. If we get to 500 members, I have to get a moist tattoo. So you never know. You just, hey man, you never know. I think the cost for a gas water heater was roughly 20% the cost of the electric water heater, so that made our decision there. However, if you're talking clothes dryer, it's different. That speed is worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, the gas dryer would get clothes dry in like half the time. It was cheaper to run. Overall cost every month was less. But the real benefit was like how fast it dries, and they dry nicer. It's very difficult to explain, but like it just was a nicer drying process. I don't know. It's very weird. The gas production from waste is interesting. I learned about it back in 16th form, pre-18 education. I didn't think many were using it. I don't think there's a lot of areas that use it. I live in a pretty progressive area, so projects like that are pretty important to the people that live here. So you generally see a lot of stuff like that from Western Washington, happening. As opposed to a lot of other areas of the earth. But, I don't think you'll ever convince like Oklahomans, for instance, to do anything like that. Probably not. They'll be like, "Oh my God, it's government overreach," or I don't know. Some oil billionaire is going to convince them that it's bad somehow. I don't know how people get convinced of that, but it is what it is. Was it harder on the clothes? I don't think it was harder on the clothes. I don't think. I think it's actually I think it's less wear on your clothes because it's less time for the clothes tumbling, right? While they're like physically being smashed into each other. I think it's less wear on your clothes because the dry time is like half. So if it basically, if we took round numbers and said it takes an hour to dry your clothes, versus a half an hour, right? Then there you go. Bonsoir says our gas here in Southern California is stupid expensive. Yeah, so see, there's a perfect example of like you would have to calculate the area where you're at Like Southern California is a perfect example of like doing anything on gas in Southern California, bad idea. But heat pumps work awesome in Southern California all the time. All the time. All year round. You guys are warm all the time. So there's really no reason for you to not use heat pumps there because you're literally exchanging from the hot air. You always have hot air, and it's probably always going to be hot in Southern California. So that's a great way to go about it. So everybody's area is different. Like if I lived in Iceland, I'd probably be using geotherm stuff, right? So everybody really, it does. Obviously, it takes a couple of minutes to really figure out like what it is, the area that you're in, like what's the best way to do things. But I can't really change geography, and not the same solution isn't going to be exactly perfect for everyone. It's not a one size fits all, I guess would be the best way to put it. Everybody just kind of has to make those decisions they can. Victor Coco says, "Happy Labor Day." I don't know what the is there. I think that's like registered trademark or something. I don't know. But happy Labor Day. I know you guys all got the day off. Today I don't really have the day off, but we do have the kid here, and Vicky has the day off, so that means that me trying to get anything done is going to be incredibly difficult, and has proven to be incredibly difficult to this point. I just wish we could use a clothesline, but I'm in Minnesota, and my husband has terrible pollen allergies. Yeah, you're probably not going to be able to use a clothesline. But then again, Minnesota, you're going to be covered in snow half the year, so you can't really use a clothesline then either. So, Southampton, where I did my undergrad, used geotherm for the shopping areas, and the rocks weren't even that hot. It's kind of weird because of the how the geotherm works is very interesting. It really is something that's just astounding. It's great to see technology like that, and I find it to be like really interesting. But maybe some people don't. But I would love to go out and be able to film some geotherm projects at some point, and do some documentary on that kind of stuff. But obviously, I have my day job, so documentary stuff is sort of, it's where. It's on the shelf. There's not much I can do about it, but it's on the shelf. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Hydroelectric is big here from all the dams, but gas would still work if no power, right? Yeah. Generally speaking, the gas stays on even though the power is out. But you also do need to run the electrical system for gas appliances. They aren't 100% gas run. Well, actually a lot of them are, but you also need the thermostat and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's an off chance that you may or may not still need to run some kind of generator to have some electricity to run specific gas appliances, But hydroelectric is huge here in Western Washington. That like the Columbia River is dammed up, and there. I actually shot some film of Rocky Reach Dam recently, maybe 2 months ago. And I want to go out to the Grand Coulee Dam and the name escapes me right now. The Palouse. I want to go out to the Palouse and the Grand Coulee Dam fairly soon, probably sooner than you think. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm not going to be here next week. Next week is the big vacation extravaganza. The big family vacation is next week. So, yeah, I'm not going to be here next week. That's weird. I might do a live stream on Friday or something like that to make up for it. Hydroelectricity, any river barriers are extremely damaging to more than just fishes. In the big picture, lamprey eels have a poor pass, non-chopped up rate. Most of our dams here have extensive fish passages. Plus, also, we have the salmon cannon. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the salmon cannon, but it's amazing. Fantastic. They literally cannon the fish over the dam. And a lot of old dams are being taken down, but the reservoir of water is, I don't know what a lot of the world is going to do without the reservoirs of water. That is going to be, with how many droughts there are happening in the world right now, from Europe to America to all the crazy floods that are going on in like Pakistan and whatnot. Here's the thing. Like I'm very environmentally minded, but I always got to try and explain to people that like the caring for the environment and caring for what we can and can't do is because to maintain human life, right? Like that has to be the number one issue. That has to be the number one thing, right? If it's not, then I don't know what's the point of doing any of this stuff, because nature will survive once we're gone. So obviously we always have to make like real pragmatic decisions on what we can, what we can't do, what's the benefit of our families and our loved ones and blah, 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 all that kind of crap. But, I don't know what the world would do without water reservoirs. I don't know what the human race would be doing without it. So I'm not sure, me not being an engineer and that kind of stuff, I'm not sure exactly what the full on solution is, right? I know that the proposed best solution that we could do is nuclear power, but the unfortunate thing is, like, I don't know if any of our I don't know if any of the world governments are willing to make the investment in nuclear power, right? I know that in the United States, everyone complains because if you tried to switch to nuclear, it's going to take a really long time to build the plants. It's going to take a really long time to do that. Millions of dollars, cost overruns, blah blah blah, all that kind of crap. I think it should be done, but like I don't know if there is enough. I don't know if there's enough will of the people to realistically invest in it, because I think from the average people that I've spoken to over the years, it's like, well, if I buy an electric car, I'm going to have to replace the battery, right? Like that's the current ongoing issue, is that like the battery's going to have to get replaced. And you're like, okay, but you also have to buy gas that whole entire time, right? And you burn the gas, and the gas, you don't get to keep the gas. You just burn it, and then it's, right? It's just up in the atmosphere. It's gone. You just keep filling up the tank ad nauseum forever. Obviously, if it is costly to, like, replace batteries in a car, sure. But when the batteries come out, you don't just have nothing, right? You still have those batteries. So the potential to recycle those batteries into something is a big deal. If the power for those cars is coming from a nuclear power plant that could be continually regenerating, right, and creating power for the people needing to use it, obviously there is nuclear waste, but you don't have nothing from the nuclear waste, right? Like, you still have the nuclear waste. There are generally, from experts out there are ways to deal with nuclear waste much better than the waste of billions of cars worth of exhaust into the atmosphere every single day, right? So that's the big trade-off. Yeah. We built locks to move boats up the river, but they've had to be shut down due to invasive species. Oh, that's a bummer. I live near some hydroelectric facilities that I think were more like an old-school water mill where they used a small amount of diverted water near falls. They have had very little effect on the river. I'm around giant hydroelectric dams, so it's like I understand that there's quite a bit of damage to the environment from them, but when you talk about millions of people being alive because of them, it's just That would be a really weird trade-off in my mind, to be like, well, I guess maybe everybody could just not survive anymore or something. I'm like, that wouldn't even be an option as far as I would concerned, as far as my brain works. The Klamath River has had some really bad hits here lately. Major fish kills, including already endangered species. The tribes did a study and attributed to the wildfires. Changing water and pH O2 levels. Yeah, pH and O2 levels. Yeah, I mean, the wildfires are horrific. I mean, I mean, trust me. I'm living in Western Washington and dealing with Eastern Washington the entirety of my life. The wildfires are terrible, and they obviously need to be mitigated, and a lot of work needs to go into doing that. It's, but as always, it boils down to money. Like, if we don't have people and money to go do a thing, then the thing's not going to get done, right? There's a group of Americans that say, well, give money to charity, and then charity will take care of it. I don't believe in that, and the main reason for that is that charities cannot be held to account. They can't be, like, voted out, right? So I believe that something like the CCC should come back. I wonder if I still have. Let me see if I have my image file. Where is it? I gotta scrolling. I bet you it's in here. Let's see. It's probably below here. It's probably back further than that. Let me see. Oh man. Like how here's the question. How quick am I? How quick am I on the draw of talking about things and then scrolling through image files? No, I'm not that quick. Obviously, I'm not that quick. Probably because these image files are not very... here we go. Oh, here we go. This one. There we go. I'm a big fan of the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, the corpse, like an idiot. The Corps, right? Oh, hit that like button. I see there's 30,000 people watching, and we only have 19 likes. That's not enough likes. Oh, yeah, and gift memberships, too, if you want to be cool like the Fish Tank Barn, who gifted a membership today. Boom. Anyhow, the Civilian Conservation Corps of America was a very important... This was a very important time in America, in American history. I encourage you to go look it up to understand what it is about, what it was. Most of our federal lands and federal forests and stuff like that we go to, like all this stuff exists because of the Conservation Corps. It's very interesting how often I have gone somewhere and been like, wow, there's like a big lodge here, and the Forest Service has this interactive building in which people, you can go in there and you can learn about the environment and you can learn about this, and there's a campsite and blah blah blah, and there's all this like great stuff, and you go like, where did this come from? And eventually you can go back and look, and you go like, oh, the Conservation Corps built this in 1938, and you're like, oh yeah, strangely enough, I'm at a place again that was from the Conservation Corps. So if we talk about things like wildfires, if we talk about things like environmental conservation and that kind of stuff, like I think the Conservation Corps needs to come back. I think a lot of young people who are just sort of floating around out there with not a whole lot to do, it would be a great job opportunity for them to learn some real life, just some real life activity, right? Learning how to do some stuff, right? Go out there, do some stuff, do some work, learn some things. And I honestly believe One of the best things that you could do at this point is bring back the conservation corps for people that want to be involved with their community. They want to be involved and support, you know, the country's well-being and stuff like that, but they don't want to join the Marine Corps or the Navy or the Air Force or the other one. What's the other one? Do we remember the other one? I'm going to see if anybody remembers it. Which one did I not mention? Because I'm about to mention the Coast Guard. Which one didn't I mention? I'm definitely not going to talk about Space Force because Space Force is stupid. But the Army is the one. You guys aren't fast enough. You guys aren't fast enough in the chat. I'm sorry. But maybe you don't want to join those civil services, but you do want to get some college credit and you want to get stuff like that. I believe we bring back the Conservation Corps. And I think it would be something that most people politically could get behind, right? I think most people could politically get behind a conservation corps that would, allow young people something to do for probably like a 2-year process or something like that, to learn quite a bit. If you get out of high school and you don't know what you want to do, and you're like, I don't want to work at Arby's. I don't want to work at McDonald's. I don't want to work at, I don't know, whatever stupid retail store or whatever, right? But this could be a great opportunity for kids that are between 18 and 21 to work for a couple of years, get an opportunity to maybe get credit for a trade school or get credit for college. Maybe they want to go to university or something like that. I think it's something that it's worth more to think about than to not, right? Yeah. Week 1 was thousands of fish, but it quickly escalated to tens of thousands. They thought maybe it was chemical runoff from fighting the fires and diesel from the equipment, but it determined that it wasn't the case. Yeah, I mean, the probability of, burnt, the large forest fires, burnt stuff, charcoal, all that crap is going to affect water quite a bit. So I'm not surprised, Managing and controlling rivers has caused at least all of our flooding issues, costing a lot, destroying homes, agriculture, etc. I really don't think that managing and controlling rivers has caused at least all of our flooding issues. I don't think that's true. Do I think controlling rivers and managing water and stuff has caused some problems? Yes. But also, I believe has also created quite a bit of positive. Not everything is just negative, right? Everything is probably in a shade of gray. There's definitely good, and there probably is a lot of bad, but there's just no way it's created all of our issues of everything. That's just statistically impossible, especially if you find one thing that is unrelated, then it immediately nullifies that statement, and that is not good for anybody, right? So, yeah. Remove that. Yeah, there we go. It sounds like a good organization. I'm always fascinated about the American interest in their military. The American infrastructure, the American military infrastructure that we have right now has a lot to do with, has a lot more to do with trade than I think most people realize. We as Americans, well, I guess it's hard to say we or whatever, but the American military provides a lot of leverage for trade than people think, right? That's the main function of it. If you have a base somewhere, you can provide protection for trade. That's basically what it is. So yeah. Up to your charity rant. I used to be the head of finance for a large UK charity. Don't donate to charity. It will go to the pockets of their directors. Donate directly to causes where possible. Yep. That is that's my stance. The realistic thing. A lot of what you see in the United States is that most charities are tied to some kind of church, right? And church are are non-taxed in the United States because of the separation of church and state. A lot of churches are getting themselves into trouble now because they're having Republican political representatives come do political speaking events in their church while their church is going on. So I foresee a lot of I see a lot of churches being taxed in the future in the United States. And also, once you are tax paying, you are liable to be following a lot more rules than the current charity stuff that you see right now. But you know, like Joel said, donate directly to causes where possible. That is the best way to donate to that stuff. But you know, it's a difficult situation to be like super mad about, because I think people feel good when they give money to charity, and it makes them feel good, right? And they go like, "Oh, I feel like I did a thing," and you're like, "Well, it could have created more of a problem than you even know." Man, it smells like food. Oh, my lady heated up some of those pancakes. Let's see my daughter over there is eating those pancakes from this morning. Aubrey is here. I went to a really awesome trout farm built by the CCC. It is a really deep cave spring where the water is too cold for native fish but great for trout. That is cool. Did you film it? That's the question. Did you take some pictures? Did you get some action shots while you were there? Snoochie Booch says tech schools. I don't know what that means. In the UK, many of our water bodies have been regulated for hundreds of years, making them straighter, less likely to flood where they were meant to be, diverting them, building where they need to flood. Yeah, I know that there are some really cool projects out there right now to reflood certain areas where rivers flooded in the past, and do some restoration projects like that. And I think that's great. I love to see that. But obviously that needs to be in conjunction with like not making people homeless, right? You know, it's always been kind of a lot of the issue that I've had with a lot of the environmental activists that I've had in the past is that, like, okay, we can't negate or just neglect the effect that this could have on the humans, right? Like, we can't just bulldoze somebody's house because an endangered species or something is supposed to live where that house is, right? And even if you did bulldoze that house, you haven't suddenly, like, recreated the environment for that species, right? Like, you just have a bulldozed house and a bunch of crap on the ground from it. So... like, we obviously need to find a medium, a happy medium between all of that. But, you know, we have a lot of federal lands in the United States that are maintained, and I think that's amazing. I've yet to be to the English island. I would love to go to that island, whatever you guys call it, the UK, the island, whatever your island is. I'd love to go out there sometime and check out some stuff. I was supposed to go to the Netherlands, but it just was going to be too expensive to go to the Netherlands to film Vivarium this time around, because I wasn't going to be able to take Vicky, going to be able to take the wife. So, you know, it just wasn't going to work out to try and do that. Kiwi Mamo is here. What's up, Kiwi? Good to see you. I think Kiwi Mamo got a gifted sub, which is nice. People giving to charity usually write it off when it comes to taxes. So Ellen giving away refrigerators to everyone. She just doesn't want to pay crazy taxes on her millions. Yeah, I mean, people get tax credit for giving money away, but it's not as good as you would think. There's a lot of other ways to avoid taxes than just giving to charity. But, you know, speak to your tax preparer today if you need to figure out where all your money's got to go. People build where it floods. The British Isles, that covers, I think, the Republic of Ireland as well. historically speaking, throughout the ages, people live near water because we need to be there for a multitude of reasons. But one of them would be for food. One of them would be, climate's normally milder near bodies of water. But travel also, able to travel on the body of water to go around and do stuff. But yeah, humans are always traditionally living right near the where the water is, So maybe technology will allow us to kind of spread out or whatever, or maybe climate change will force us to move. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things when we were up in Alaska, thinking about sort of the global migration north type situation that is likely to happen with climate change and all that stuff that's going on. But, it's like, should we migrate north now? Probably not yet, but, that may come up. We may all have to move to Alaska. I don't know. Water meadows are being preserved as a space to visit, not a place to build, as houses there flood so easily, preserve rare species and breeds of livestock. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to reassess what we can, and then when it comes time to build or develop a certain area or whatnot, if we can make better decisions in the future, that's sort of a big part of just being human, right? We learn new information and we work on it. We work on being better as time goes on. Can you grow tomatoes in Alaska? Yes. Most everything can be grown in Alaska. At the very least, most everybody has a greenhouse, right? So, you can grow a lot of stuff in Alaska. It'd be surprising. Joel, are you headed to Portland Fishtoberfest in October? I recall thinking about it, and I remember talking about it on the live stream. If somebody had invited me, and then somebody invited me, or they said they were going to invite me or something, and I didn't see any info on that. Saturday, October 8th. Let me look at my schedule. We gotta look at the schedule, bros. October 8th. Olivia soccer. Olivia has soccer on Saturday the 8th. Not sure. Undecided, I guess. It might be worthwhile to go. Maybe I'll go on Sunday. Maybe I'll go on Sunday. I don't know, unless there's so much stuff there. Unless there's so much stuff that I got to go for 2 days, I guess. I don't know. Who all's gonna be Oh, I had it and then I lost it. Let's see. Let's look it up again. Google search. Fishtoberfest 2022. Let's see who's gonna be there. Let's see. Pisces Aquaria, which I do need to go to Pisces Aquaria to finish my Pisces Aquaria video. Bentley, Dan's Fish, Shrimp Envy, Daniken. Yeah, I mean, that's probably worthwhile to go. Bentley's going to be there. I don't know, maybe. So, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, I guess. I don't know. Really probably just boils down to, coming up on that weekend if I got time to go and, make a YouTube video about going to a fish convention. Maybe it's worthwhile. Joel, I went to Fishtoberfest last year. It's got potential. Does it have potential? All right. Build a greenhouse in Alaska. It gives you longer growing time. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about like growing in Alaska. Like you have to have a greenhouse. That's basically. But I mean, if you live in Alaska, it's stupid to not have a greenhouse. I guess is the better way to put it. Like you are just kind of being a jerk if you don't have a greenhouse. That's well in the area that we've been in. Maybe it's different in other areas of Alaska. I don't know, but all the areas that we go to, um, almost everybody has a greenhouse, and they want to upgrade to what's called a high tunnel. Most everybody wants to do a high tunnel, which is a bigger greenhouse. But most everybody has some kind of greenhouse where they're growing a lot of stuff for themselves because they like to have food to eat that's not super expensive. That's the big downside to Alaska is Alaska is super expensive, and there's not a lot of resources there. I guess resources is the weird word. Services, I guess, is a big deal. But, like, let me explain it further. So, everything that the average person buys is more expensive in Alaska and less available, right? So, availability of items is low, cost is high, and you often have to travel super far to even get to things. And then, even a worse part is that, like, when it comes down to services, so, like, one of the places we go with, like, Vicky's parents, like, if you are hurt and need to go to the hospital, it's, like, an hour and a half drive to the small hospital. It's, like, it's more like an urgent care, right? And then if they can't help you, you got to get on a plane and fly to Anchorage, which, by the way, most everybody in Alaska knows if you fly to Anchorage and then if you have an issue that is a big deal, you are leaving Alaska. You're going to have to fly down to the 48, the continental 48, right? So, one of the big issues with being up in Alaska is like there's not even medical care here if something goes wrong, right? In the meantime, you're doing a lot of things that are fairly like a higher potential for needing medical care, right? Accident-prone things and stuff. And you could be looking at, like you go up to the urgent care and they're like, we can't help you. And then you have to go to the airport and then fly up to Anchorage. And then you're in Anchorage and they're like, we can't help you. And then it's like, we got to get you on another plane and you got to fly down to like SeaTac. And then you got to go from SeaTac to a hospital to find, like that's not a great situation and it's not comforting. I'll tell you that. So, but it is what it is, I guess. I mean, maybe we all got to just move there anyhow because it's going to be too hot down here. Skydancer says a lot has to come by boat and plane, so everything is high priced. Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything has to come by either boat or plane, or that's pretty much it. I don't know. Is there a train that goes up there now? But I think the train is so far that it's not even worthwhile. I live in Montana, but I'm a member of the Greater Portland Aquarium Society. Couldn't believe Seattle Aquarium Club wouldn't take my money because I'm not local. Yeah, that is like it's a really weird thing with the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. Like, I don't know why they don't take out of state, but I think it has something to do with their like, their processing and like where the money comes from and like tracking and all that kind of weird stuff. I don't know, but I don't really have any association with those guys, so I don't know what their deal is, but they should figure it out. They definitely should. There's enough people at the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society that could figure that out. Man, our poll was like 50-50. The gas water heater versus the hybrid was literally 50-50. So we might as well end that poll. Travel to other clubs to give their talks. That's what I was told by the board. Oh, I I think it's because the talks are all recorded and you can rewatch them on the website anytime if you're a member. There's a speaker agreement, so the speakers get to travel to other clubs to give their talks. Yeah, I think that's a big issue with having speakers come in, especially paid speakers and stuff like that, is that they don't want their presentation getting out so that they can continue to get paid for it. You know, these people are making a presentation and they don't want it sold outside of the area. You know, so it really, I think it boils down to that. You know, but it is what it is. Sky Dancer says milk is like $10 a gallon in Anchorage. Yeah, milk is expensive. There's not a lot of cow farmers, dairy farmers. Oh, excuse me. There's not a lot of dairy farmers up in Alaska. Not a lot of pig farmers either, but Vicky's dad's doing that. So, interesting. Societies here will have members from around the world. More for those that specialize in a group of fish. Yeah, but I'm not sure if the societies in England put their recorded speakers on the internet or not. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in England. I was supposed to go to London for something, and then COVID happened, so that got canceled. But yet to be there, so I don't even have any like real specific interaction with England. So, you know, you never know. Maybe someday I'll go there, and then I'll have like quite the opinion. Oh my God, Preston John was here earlier, but he hasn't said anything since earlier. Richard Volman was here. Yeah. And he must have left. I don't know. Oh, where's my my notes for the day? Oh, so we talked about the water heater. Yeah, I'm going to be gone next week because I'll be filming another dam. I'm going to be filming a dam and filming a river and filming a lake and a body of water and talking a little bit about that as sort of part of my little, I don't even know if I want to call it a documentary, but it's like a mini doc thing that I'm just trying to piece together. So far, it's just a rambling chaos of not that great, but it's coming along. Isn't there some kind of government assistance or incentive for Alaskan citizens? There is. They get their yearly check. It's from the oil production. So your permanent fund dividend is what it's called. And I wonder how much it was last year. So to establish residency, you need a moving truck rental receipt or a receipt for moving boxes mailed to Alaska from the United States Postal Service, receipt showing items, a lease or a rental agreement, proof of purchasing a home, mortgage, boat harbor fees, W-2, a pay stub, an Alaska driver's license, vehicle registration, blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff to get established for your dividend fund check, for your residency check every year. And I'm trying to figure out how much it is. I think last year, how much is it? Yeah, so it's really not that good. So, it's October 14th, 2021. What was once a joyous fall rite in Alaska has become another thing for people to bicker about. The amount of money residents receive from the state's oil wealth. Checks of $1,114 are expected to be paid to about 643,000 Alaskans beginning this week. Some will say politicians shortchanged them. Estimates indicated checks would have been in the $3,800 range if a calculation still in the books was last followed in 2015. So, you know, my understanding is that the check is normally between hi. You want to sit in my chair with me? We're talking to the internet right now. We're live. Okay? So.
Hi.
Okay, stop yelling into the microphone. Just talk normal.
Hi.
What'd you do? Did you take a nap?
Yes.
How was it?
Good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It was a good nap? Okay. What song do you have today? What song do you got?
I got the right song is How I Go is ABCs.
You're on the ABCs again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
Good job, dude.
Why is there a ninja right there?
Why is there a ninja right there? Because we got the chat popped out. So if we look right here, they can say, Alyssa says, hi, Olivia.
Hi, Alyssa.
And Catherine says hi.
Hi, Catherine.
And Aubrey says hi.
Hi, Aubrey.
And Snoochie Booch says hi.
Hi, Bootsy.
That's pretty good, dude. You did a good job. They said good job on those ABCs. They said you did a great job. You did amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back hanging with Mama, okay?
I think there's something pink in the mailbox for you.
Dada, do you want to come see the pinker?
The pinker?
The pink?
I will after I'm done doing the show, okay?
Don't worry.
You want to push the button?
I love you, Dada.
Thank you. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, okay. See you later.
Oh. Thanks for listening.
She's blowing up the mic. Yeah. So that was Olivia. I don't know if you guys ever heard the ABCs before. Are you guys familiar? You familiar with the ABCs? Yeah. Yeah, we're familiar, I think. I think we got it. So the check that the Alaskans get is what we were talking about. It's an oil dividend check, essentially, that like oil is sold on the market, blah, 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 and they get a portion of it as being Alaskan residents. But my understanding is the check is normally about $3,500-$3,800 a year, right? So it's basically going to supplement like $300 a month, right? And if things are extraordinarily expensive up there, and then services aren't very prevalent, so there's just a lot going on that sort of makes you go like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it to be up here, and it's definitely not worth it for just the residency check. Mickham says, hi, Olivia, you're a singer and a soccer player. Yes, she is. She's a burgeoning soccer player. She's not good yet. I don't even think the kids even really know what they're doing. It's just sort of a lot of screaming, and there's a soccer ball there. Someone's got a whistle. It's chaos, and Vicky keeps trying to get me to be a coach for the league, and I'm like, look, so it's it's one of those things where you're like, look, I'm not a coach. I played forever, but also it's like I don't know if I want to like yell at other people's kids, right? It's a lot, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Jason from Livingston Custom Fab is here. It's good to see you, buddy. I think Livingston will be showing up on the channel in after some projects get going here. We'll have some stuff, some fish tanky stuff going on. I think some talks are online. My talk, a big museum owned the specimens, and I had permission to share the photos. Others would need to ask. I was iffy about the photos. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was about the stuff being up online about people doing their speaking stuff. It was funny because I was talking with a guy at the store recently I was there. Well, it was one of the employees at the store was asking me about something, and we were talking about puffer fish and blah blah blah, and what kind of my plans are for fish here once the fish room goes, and we were talking about puffer fish, and Corey and I had gone to Germany, and we got to meet the guy who initially bred the Shotodenai puffers, and we got to see his presentation. Just the two of us. He did it for the two of us. We were not allowed or able to film it because he travels around Europe giving that speaking event or that presentation to people. And that right there is a perfect example of he's like, well, this is part of how I pay my bills. So if you guys put it up on YouTube, then I won't really be able to pay my bills because I get paid to do this thing. So obviously it's a big trade-off for people to go do that, and if it gets publicized, then places don't want to pay you for your engagement anymore. So yeah, so I understand that people put in a lot of work, and it's something that they make their money from. So I always try to respect that and go that route. So my guess is that the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society probably has a lot more of that to deal with than I do, of course. But I'm sure it's an ongoing trying to figure out what you can and can't do, I guess. She knows the alphabet better than me. Yeah, I doubt it. We were trying to figure out. So one of the things we've been working on recently is what letter does that word start with? And she's basically not that good at that one. She's not very good at that game. I reffed at that age in my teens. I just called it herd ball. No need to go beyond that. Yeah, I mean, the kids they're all just running over trying to kick the ball all at the same simultaneously. So it's sort of chaos. Olivia's not even 4 yet. So she's these people aren't even really coachable at this point. So no amount of whistle blowing at them or yelling at them or whatever, or trying to gently coax them to do something. They aren't receptive to that, I might be inclined to coach later on, but right now it's just a daunting task for me as a dude to be like, oh, cool, we've got 23-year-olds or recently just turned 4-year-olds, and I'm gonna try and teach a sport to them. I don't know. I certainly don't feel qualified, and I certainly don't feel a lot of motivation to get involved, honestly. Personally feel but I'm gonna go to the first thing and see how it goes with this new soccer group, and we'll see. Maybe someone will convince me. I don't know. Maybe somebody really nice will be like, oh my God, we need your help. And I'll fall for it. Personally feel like information knowledge should be free, maybe pictures as well, but if people could actually cite their sources. Yeah, I feel like information and knowledge should be free. But you're right. There should be citation of sources on a lot more stuff. But, admittedly, we live in a world now where I don't know. I don't know which direction we're going. It feels like half the population is trying to drive off a cliff, and the other half of the population is trying to cite their sources. But I think I think the number is much more dramatic. That about 70% of people are trying to cite their sources and 30% are trying to drive straight off a cliff. I think it's like that more than anything. Oh man, I had about 8 on a team. Anything more than that is pure chaos. Yeah, I think this one is about 8 or 9 on a team. But, there's 2 teams, 20. Plus, who knows if the kids that aren't in the game are going to actually stay on the sidelines. I had an interaction with that when I was about 18 or 19. Some people that were on the sidelines decided to get interacted with the game, and it was not fun. It was not fun. It was not a good time. People were very angry. Clubs like the GSAS can definitely afford to fly speakers out and pay them for their information. Yeah, I mean, most of the speakers that come to the GSAS are paid for their time and the event and their air travel and all that kind of stuff, which is why they have like a high level of expertise in their speakers, because they can afford to get the kind of best of the best. So it's pretty enjoyable when I get the opportunity to go to a Greater Seattle Aquarium Society speaker. It's almost every time I've been, it's been pretty enjoyable as far as that goes. Yeah, so I don't think I've ever been to a bad speaking engagement at the GSAs. It would be cool to meet you if I can make it over to Portland that Sunday. My 10-year-old son has something going on Saturday. It's about 11 hours for me, so might make it. Yeah, I think the drive for me down to Portland is about 4 hours, I think. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's go maps. Let's go maps. Let's check it out. Let's go from here to Portland. Portland, Oregon. Then, wait, what? We want directions. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, there we go. Enter. Enter? Calculating. Let's see how long this trip is. 3.5. Actually, it's only about 3.5 from here, so it's not too bad. There's a bunch of car crashes in the way. 1, 2, 3. Well, only 3 car crashes in the way, but yeah. I mean, realistically, it's probably like 4 hours. You know, because you stop somewhere because you got to pee and whatever. You know, but yeah. I mean, it's reasonable. It's not that big of a deal. I think Gary Lang's coming next week, actually. Just made the trip to Edmonds to visit the co-op. Looking forward to it again. Oh, did you go up to the co-op in Edmonds? That's rad. I've been working down there quite a bit. Recently with COVID and everything has taken me away from there, but yeah. The driving is nuts over there. Driving is nuts everywhere. Let's be honest. You know, you'd be on a back road in Montana, and people are driving 150 miles an hour. You can be in downtown Portland, and there's a million cars, just people driving all over the place. So, yeah. Also, actually talking about aquariums, any suggestions for a 25 hex? Getting rid of 20 guppies because I'm just sick of them. It's well seasoned, but I'm keeping the 2 remaining cories. Any suggestions? Here's the issue. Like, it's super difficult for me to suggest like a certain fish to somebody. I think what I would suggest is go to a local store, look around for some fish that you find interesting that are available. Go home, do some research on them to see if they're going to work for your setup, and make a plan and then execute the plan. That's the best thing I would do. I can recommend. I can't just say like I don't know, go get X fish or whatever. Obviously you have a smaller tank, 25 gallons. It's going to limit any big fish, right? Any fish that are going to need a big tank. You don't have a big tank. So, but if you have a nice planted tank, there's a lot of small fish out there that you could consider doing. But you want to check your water parameters, see what you got, what you can work with, and then go find what you're interested in. And then go home, do some research, make a plan, get a quarantine tank set up, go buy the fish, get them quarantined, and then add them to your tank. I mean, it's always difficult for me to go like, yeah, get this fish, and then somebody's like, oh, I don't like that one. And you're like, well, okay, but the advice that goes for everybody would be what I just gave, that go to a store, find what's available that you're interested in, and then go from there, do some research, get things set up to make sure that you're within the, most fish have a pretty wide parameter. You don't have to do anything too crazy, but if you have a good system set up and you're ready to go, and then that's probably what's going to make it more enjoyable, is having done some research, being prepared, and then going forward it's probably going to make any fish more enjoyable for you. It's more I give the information for free when asked, unless potentially for scientific papers. I couldn't ask people to pay what I'm more than happy to give for free. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with that at all. I really don't. I definitely don't disagree with that statement. But also at the same time, everybody has bills to pay, right? And if all of your time gets taken up giving away information for free, and then you're like, well, wait, I still have to pay my mortgage, right? Then that could become a problem for somebody, right? It's one of the reasons why I always feel bad of being like, become a member today or whatever. Like, that's why I almost always make fun of it as best I can, to be like, become a member, hit the like button, become a subscriber, all that kind of crap. But the reality is that, like, if I don't make enough money to just dedicate all my time to YouTube, then like I have to do other stuff, right? So, like I have bills to pay and they have to be paid, right? It's a weird balancing act. Like, the thing is, I would love to do a show where I just came on for like 4 hours Monday through Friday, and we could just talk about all the stuff that's going on, and I had somebody to help research and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. It would be rad to do that, but it unfortunately wouldn't pay my mortgage, right? So that's the issue. That's the issue, is that my daughter was here a minute ago, like 10 minutes ago or whatever. She came in here. She can't feed herself. She can't live on her own. And so I got to pay the bills for her, right? Like, so that's where I'm like, pragmatically, that's what I have to do, And to be honest with you, if it means I got to go dig a hole in a doo-doo pit or whatever, I'll go do that. Whatever I got to do to keep my daughter healthy and fed and blah, 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 I'm going to do that, Would be cool if you guys brought back the Real Fish Talk. Been following you for a long time. That series I play often. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Like, I think Corey and I would love to do some kind of Real Fish Talk reboot. And now we live way closer. We bought a house way up north up here, and it would mean that is more available than it used to be. But it is just not on our radar, right? It's just, here's the weird thing. It's just not on our radar of like, that's something that we have to do. But I'm going to be honest with you. If there was a huge demand for it, I bet we would do it. You know what I mean? I always just say like, Snoochie Booch became a member. Thank you very much, dude. The return of the Snoochie Booch. We're up to 81. We're getting closer to the moist tattoo. One of the reasons I was doing the moist tattoo for like the 500 member thing is that, like, honestly, at 500 members, that is enough to like dedicate a straight up day to doing stuff like forcing Corey to do a Real Fish Talk episode, right? We both have Well, we don't both have a studio. I don't have a studio right now, but I'm working on having a studio space. Corey has a studio space, and realistically, if honestly, if I was at like that 500 member mark, right? Oh, which I gotta update the Patreon. This number is less than that. It's 119 there, which puts us at an even 200, right? Honestly, so it's like one of those things where you know, if I can actively dedicate time to it, then I'm more motivated to do that. And you know, if it boiled down to it, where it's motivated, I'd be like, hey, where does it fit on our calendar, and force it to exist on the calendar, and then we would probably do it. Right now, I don't think we have the swell of demand to like do the thing, so that's kind of the big issue right now. I would say more than anything. But yeah, I would like to do some real fish talk episodes in the future. Obviously, I would like to continue doing episodes with like Alyssa. At some point in time, way down the line, we'll probably start doing some kind of episodes, probably only like once a month or something like that, because then I can afford to pay the gas, and Alyssa can make the trek all the way up here. If we, you know, carve out some time to do that kind of crap, then we could probably do that too. Multis are a dream fish, but I have gravel and not much ground space. Yeah, actually, who was that? Somebody a long time ago had a 25 hex, or like maybe a 30 hex or something like that. It was a hexagonal tank that had multis in it, and they did kind of like a stepped tier in there with all the shells on it. And that was actually like a really cool tank because they had a single pendant light that was shining right down the middle of it, and it was really cool for a hex tank. I'm not a huge fan of the hex tank myself, but that I thought that was like a really good use of space for sure. Your plant profile videos got me started in the hobby back in the day. Wow, man, that is wow, that's crazy. It's always crazy to hear that you like have influence on somebody else's, especially like a positive thing in somebody else's life. That's really cool, man. I appreciate it. Alyssa says, yeah, I miss doing the show. Yeah, I miss doing the show too. Obviously, like I was saying, it's like I got to get my studio set up here so I can do it. Because right now I'm just in the corner of the basically Olivia's playroom, really. There's like a ton of play toys over that way. And it'll be fun to clear out this space and get moved over there. Yeah. You guys are super busy. Yeah, I mean, I'm just booked all the time nowadays, and so is Corey. So it's like that's kind of one of the big deals. Like, you know, I mean, that's why I was saying, like, if there was a huge groundswell of demand, I'm going to be honest. I feel like I could force Corey to do a show once every 2 weeks or something for like 2 hours on a Sunday or whatever, you know. I feel like I could, because I would just be like, dude, let's do it. And he would be like, dude, let's do it. And I'd be like, oh, come on, man. You know, just like normally like how bros do that, you know? So, not to make it about money, but it's like, it's how I have to occupy my time. You know, it's really what it boils down to. Maybe I could build something that would work, and the hex tank was a gift from ages ago, but my little guy loves seeing everything growing and moving in it. So multis can, you know, more often than not, like people do multis without any plants at all, but they can have some plants in there as long as they have lots of shells. Well, whoa! My computer went crazy doing a search here. That was weird. There we go. So shells are actually like pretty easy to get a hold of now. mainly because Amazon exists and it has forced the market to exist. There's how many shells is this? Okay, hold on. But this is a great place to start right here. A big bag. A bag of the shells. Here's a link right here. So you could obviously, you don't have to buy these specific shells, but here's a decent link, just a quick Amazon link. Oh, by the way, I'm an Amazon affiliate, so we get a credit if you guys buy stuff through the Amazon links. You know, just so you know, the Federal Trade Commission says I got to tell you, it doesn't change your price or anything, but yeah. If you're looking for shells, that's the easy way to do it. Or you can go to a restaurant supply store and find shells that are food safe, which means that they're aquarium safe. It's just the easy way to put it. They're aquarium safe. And there are a bunch of plants that you can do with the multis. You just want to make sure that they're kind of grown in and big enough to not be moved. That's going to be the big issue, is that more often than not, the multis are going to pull the plant out and get them out of the way. But if they're a bigger plant, generally speaking, the multis aren't going to be able to really move it. So you can definitely do some plants with it. Obviously, floating plants aren't a big deal either. And you could obviously do a tank with, growth out of the top, whatever the name of that plant is. It's not a spider plant. It's pothos. You could do like pothos out of the top. So there's a lot of plants and things that you could do in that space. Oh my God, Glenn Tookshire is here. Hey man, what's going on, Glenn? It's totally unfortunate that we're getting to the end of the show. I got to look at the clock here. Yeah, it's been about 2 hours now. So, but it's always good to see Glenn. It's always good when Glenn comes out. And we did get some new members today, so that's pretty cool. Snoochie Booch is back. And Kathos was a gifted sub. I don't know who Kathos is, but they got a gifted membership. Where did my window go? There's my window. Okay. There's my chat. African land snails could work, but I think escargot too clean well. Snails stick well, even in death. Yeah, the escargot shells are normally really good because they're really clean. Because they're ready to be used, they're ready to be used on the table, man. If you had stinky clam residue or snail residue in the shells and stuff, it wouldn't do too well for food service, right? So escargot shells are a good place to start because they're generally really clean. Uh-oh. I hear my daughter. Yeah. Okay. Olivia is yelling that I'm supposed to be done now and go. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're gardening. They're gardening outside or something. But don't forget to hit the like button. Gift memberships all the time. That's the goal, right? So we gotta do some of that. We gotta do some of this. I think I'll be on with Dr. Black 66 tomorrow. I think. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, I was sick last week, so I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it last week because I was sick. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thanks for new members. Thanks for gifting members from the Fish Tank Barn. Very much appreciate it. Love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic week. If you have COVID, stay away from people. Wear a mask. Isolate for 5 days. Then you have 5 days of wearing a mask. And hopefully you recover quickly. I recovered quickly. Hopefully you do too. Drink lots of water. Get some sleep. All that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you guys around pretty soon.